Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 15th of March. So before I get on looking at the currencies, let's just look at the risk that we got coming out, the potential risk coming out this morning. Let's just switch across here and look at Wednesday the 15th will be good. So got annual budget release this afternoon in the UK, which I mean most of it's been probably leaked by now, the contents of the budget, the idea as it traditionally seems to be these days. They certainly can't keep a secret. Well, maybe they have. But then we got the core PPI. So we had the inflation figures out yesterday. Let me just update this sheet, and one actually came out slightly higher. So today would be good. This week rather. Yes. So the core inflation came out slightly higher, the rest in line, but with the situation of the banking sector, it's a bit unknown, and there's a belief that they might even not increase now, but it looks like it's 0.25% next time as opposed to the 0.5% that was sort of hawkishly mentioned just over a week ago. Right, okay, or about a week ago. Moving into today anyway, more important, other inflation data, that's what I was looking at. So we've got the core PPI, this is the Producers Price Index, and it can also have an effect. Retail sales, which show us what the consumers are spending, it's expected to come in at -0.1 this time. If they're still spending like mad out there, then we'll get more inflation coming through. So the figures looking for there, we've got US core retail sales. Retail sales, so I was reading it twice, I was. Anyway, so yeah, there are some figures at 12:30, but once again, for us trading, it's not a bad time for it to be released, really, because it still leaves us the afternoon. Not that it did us any good yesterday. Speaking of which, just have a look at the charts. Well, the euro on the dailies here, still trying to push up here. I still don't have anything on this. It's just horrible chop. Look at the size of the retracements here. This is often the sign of before a reversal. There we go. It's a sort of a sign before a reversal. However, when you look at the detail behind it, maybe it's not quite so bad, but I could consider a long side off the pivot there if it bounces off there, but it's not the cleanest of markets. The pound dollar, talking of not clean, look at yesterday's range, bearing in mind we had some key news coming out, very little movement, consolidated here. Maybe it's the budget that we're waiting for, and well, you can see that consolidation. Now, generally around consolidation, around a high, you would expect it to push on upwards. We'll see what happens, but it's actually looking like it's dropping a little bit. It's back into yesterday's low sort of area. We'll see what it does, but there's no instant trade coming from that for me. I don't trust a lot of these moves that you see like this. Looking at the US dollar yen, well, this seems to have put a little reversal in so far. It might just be a step before we see another wave to the downside, but it's not that convincing at the moment. I will extend my little trend line there along those lows. So at the moment, there we go. It's still in its upward trend. I was looking yesterday for a break of that to the downside, thought it looked nice. The thing is, the longer this goes on for, the more I then need to see a few more factors in the break of the trend as opposed to just playing the flag position. So yeah, nothing there at the moment. Aussie dollar, the Aussies is struggling a little bit. It's a bit backwards and forwards. I was looking for some levels, and it sort of broke. There was at 66.80ish. I was looking for it to break. Now it broke that, then closed back within. Yesterday, then it's ended up closing above the price action, but it's quite ugly. Quite an ugly market, and you come down the time frames here, and well, it's almost down to its daily pivot here. Is it just going to continue rolling to the downside? Again, nothing certain. Not that anything's ever certain, but not even a nice probability looking trade. Canadian dollars has come off this morning a little bit, or say come off, pushed up again a little bit this morning. This is the US dollar pushing up with its strength. Lower highs, lower lows. It's still in that sort of range, but it just seems to, again, look at the size of the movements, the retracements here, quite strong. And I do wonder if we'll see it break back. Well, it looks like we could see a break back above the pivot here, and maybe a run towards the R1 if it has the strength in it. But the way we'll see what happens. These haven't all moved back to their prior highs because it's in a downtrend. This will be key. A break above the pivot here gives us a higher low, and as I said, we might see some more upside there. Looking around the other markets, my usual suspects, the likes of Euro Yen, this actually broke through yesterday in the end. I was looking at it thinking, well, it's already done 100 pips on that single bar there. We're not going to see that again through. What do we see? More than 100 pips through there. Eventually, this is really Euro against the yen, just really that softness sitting there. Look at the Euro against the Aussie. Choppy as anything on this time frame, just best left. As is the Euro CAD. Again, it's often a currency pair I like to trade, but not whilst it's doing what it's doing at the moment. And there seems to be a theme across here. Looking at the pound Aussie, it's quite messy. The pound CAD, same sort of picture as we're seeing with the Euro CAD and the pound yen. Well, we're seeing the pound beat the yen up as well, but it's near its tops here. Whether it will push on very much, we'll see, but it's pretty close to some tops. So yeah, looking reasonably firm, solid up there. Okay, I'll continue in our trading room later to continue filter through these. I did this on Monday and couldn't see a thing first thing, and about an hour later there was about 3 or 4 to choose from. Yesterday there wasn't. So real quiet day yesterday. Right, that's it on the currency front. Let's have a switch across. A quick look at gold and oil. Gold first, just look at the dailies here first. So gold yesterday put a bearish harami in, so just a little inside bar after a big bar there. It's not the most bullish of signals by any means. It's still arguably bull flag that we're seeing there, but it's selling off within that bull flag at the moment, and a bit like the pound, but this is just rolled over that a little bit more. It just looks that little bit softer. This might be where the pound heads off to, so just looking a bit softer. There is scope for further upside, of course, but at the moment it's not yet. It's not. I'm sort of looking at the bull flag thinking there's a bull flag there, but it needs to do something if I'm going to be looking to buy into that. Crude, no surprises here, coming off more. Broken the lows here. It's in this big old daily range that's sort of running across there. Found a bit of support into the prior lows there. Getting a bit of a bounce today at the moment, but any sort of decent retrace might give the opportunity to sell in to. Well, actually it's coming off its pivot at the moment. It's a bit of a bitty old day yesterday. I looked at it in the morning there and it looked like a sell-off. My preference is always 2 o'clock in the afternoon to be trading Western Texas, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the moment, and it will remain that way. It's just safer to trade at that time of day when the bigger volumes come through, but for now looks like it could be coming off again. Okay, very quick look through the indices here. Some positivity by looks of things on the likes of the CSI 300. Chinese market saying positivity, not that much positivity. It has closed up fractionally, believe it or not, because of the gap, but still down looking and still looking weak. And the Nikkei got a similar sort of bounce, gap up, and then it's closed negatively for the day, but well, marginally positive, but horrible negative old bars. Seeing the pattern here, Nifty 50, same old, and well, yesterday with the data coming out, inflation not too bad, and the sort of the thoughts coming out, we saw a bit of a rally for a short while there that ran through. It just hasn't really sold off and then consolidating. Seeing this, if you look at this hourly pattern, it's so similar to what we're seeing in some of the other pairs, inverted or not. So we're sort of seeing these ugly sort of patterns at the moment. Dow Jones, same sort of picture. Still looking soft to me, these US equity markets. They're not really catching it there. And the Nasdaq slightly more shaped up, but not looking great. The DAX this morning, well, yesterday managed to sort of more bullish looking candle. Still a little inside buy, might not come to much, but just come down the time frames on this. You see what's happened. It's not not clean move. So I mean, it did get a kicker on the, well, it's later on in the day there, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it really sort of got the kicker to the upside. But really, trading this at the moment, I feel sorry for, I mean, you might be lucky and catch something really nice, but this is quite whippy, green, red. What's it going to be next? Oh, it must be green. But difficult to see where that's going and trade these. You might tell me otherwise. And the FTSE again, well, that's really sharp takeoff, drop down there, and maybe trying to turn around here, but again ugly at the moment. Might see something more coming from it. Okay, so a bit of a mixed markets out there. The crypto world, I was looking at Bitcoin yesterday, and if I can get Bitcoin on here, and looking at just at the dailies here, dailies Bitcoin, there we go. Still looking a bit more positive, hanging up there. You stay still, what's happening? It's doing some weird stuff. It's just changed currency pairs on me. Thank you. So anyway, trying to get up there, broken the prior highs there, but they're holding up okay, some of these at the moment. Ethereum, it's had the equally decent move there, holding up with a quite more questionable dollar maybe. Anyway, so more as I say, it's a bit of a, let's have a look at chain link. Few of the usual suspects here. Chain link a little bit below the curve, but it's not doing too bad here. So some of these currencies are running pretty well at the moment. Just have a look. Solana, yep, still pushing up okay. So yep, some half decent moves. Bitcoin, Litecoin, chain link looking better. Actually, Litecoin not looking so good. It's really Bitcoin that's sort of pushing up the best out of those. Okay, anyway, I'll leave it there. So there is some positivity for a change with the crypto world. We'll see how this develops and what develops of it, whether it just gets stuck again just below that 26,000 area. Anyway, I wish you a great day's trading. Morning, Miko and Ian. You're right, Miko, good thing there. Be safe. Catch you later, guys.